Wake up, Charles.
Well, dude, what are you doing here?
Shut up. Bedtime stories.
Oh, okay, cool.
Story time with Kyle Anson.
We Need a Moose, a story about prayer. We Need a Moose by Lynn Fairbridge, illustrations by Georgia Graham. One day, Billy and Taylor were driving through a wooded, empty section of highway. Lightning flashed, thunder roared, the sky went dark in the torrential downpour. "We'd better stop," said Taylor. Billy nodded his head in agreement. He stepped on the brake, and suddenly the car started to slide on the slick pavement. They plunged off the road and slid to a halt at the bottom of an incline. Pale and shaking, Billy quickly turned to check to see if Taylor was all right. When she nodded, Billy relaxed and looked through the rain-soaked windows. "I'm going to see how bad it is," he told Taylor, and went out into the storm. She saw his blurry figure in the headlight, walking around the front of the car. A moment, he jumped in beside her, soaking wet. "The car's not badly damaged, but we're wheel deep in mud," he said. "I'm going to have to go for help." Taylor swallowed nervously. There would be no quick rescue here. He told her to turn off the headlights and lock the doors until he returned. This was the place where a man had once taken an axe and hacked his wife to death. Supposedly, the axe-wielding spirit of the husband continued to haunt this section of the road. Outside the car, Taylor heard a shriek, a loud thump, and a strange gurgling noise. But she couldn't see anything in the darkness. Frightened, she shrank down into her seat. She sat in silence for a while, and then she noticed another sound. Bump, bump, bump. It was a soft sound, like something being blown by the wind. Suddenly, the car was illuminated by a bright light. It was an official-sounding voice telling her to get out of the car. Billy must have found a police officer. Taylor unlocked the door and stepped out of the car. As her eyes adjusted to the bright light, she saw it. Hanging by his feet from the next tree to the car was the dead body of Billy. His bloody throat had been cut so deeply that he was nearly decapitated. The wind swung his corpse back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, so that it thumped against the tree. Bump, 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 bump. Taylor screamed and ran toward the voice and the light. As she drew close, she realized the light was not coming from a flashlight. Oh no. Standing there was the glowing figure of a man with a smile on his face and a large, solid, and definitely real axe in his hands. She backed away from the glowing figure until she bumped into the car. "Playing around when my back was turned," the ghost whispered, stroking the sharp blade of the axe with his fingers. And the last thing Taylor saw was the glint of the axe blade in the eerie, dark, 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 dark night. And that's the story of how we need a moose. Go to sleep now, Charles. Shh. Go to sleep, my little angel.